Alrighty, it is popcorn time again. Today is CPI, and we slowly have the market starting to dump, towards the news, which is quite crazy. The last two CPIs, we actually had the market go up. And when we went up into the CPI, we actually ended up obviously dumping after that and the market reacting. This time we're starting to go down. And as you can see over here on my weekly chart, we're basically sitting still in the range of a support and a resistance in these areas. And we basically have the next area of Bitcoin, 12,000, it's 11,000 to $13,000 is the area. And the resistance level is the 29 to 30,000. This is what we've been talking about that major trend break. We're basically on and slightly losing that major trend right now, but the weekly end of the close is important for the end of this week. What are we thinking, guys? Pump or dump? Everything dumped. That is the crazy part right now, is we got Bitcoin, which is maybe down 2% in the last 24 hours, but this is the crazy chart. What the hell is going on over here? So we're going to speak about the dominance and where this is leading right now, because we got Bitcoin coming down slightly, but the altcoins all of a sudden are getting sucked. Ethereum and Bitcoin are sitting, they're draining, but they're not getting absolutely destroyed. So guys, let's go through again where we are on the weekly. Let's go through this dominance. I got Rand joining me now shortly to speak about the CPI on what would be the good result and what would be the terribly bad one. Because all I'm hearing is if we get an 8.3, we might go to hell. And the problem is, because we are here with Bitcoin as we speak, we do not want to go to hell right now, because there is a very big gap and we want to make sure. Now, is this a buying opportunity? Guys, we got so much to talk about. James, no more wasting time. Smash the damn button.
Click, click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click, click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click, click, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror, mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click, click. Enter the sniper.
Yo, Banter fam, what's happening? Hope you're all having a good day. As normal, I'll go through him. I think let's actually just chat here quick. Rand's here. I know he's going to spend a few minutes with me. Let's talk about your sound's off, brother. Your sound's off.
My
just
sound is
off. Oh, there. Okay, it's working. It's working.
No,
What's up?
What's up, bro?
Dude,
What's
CPI.
up?
CPI. Pump or dump? Like, what is happening now? Because let me show you this chart here and where we are on a very high time frame with Bitcoin at the moment. Very important. Like, we are extremely important zone right now, because we are sitting in the middle range of the previous all-time highs, yes, but we have one more support, and after that is 11 to 13,000. And then we have one more resistance. If we break that trend we've been waiting for, that we're like hugging right now, the most important trend of the year, is 29 to 30,000. We're like right in the middle of two of the big ass zones. And what are we thinking, bro? Because what I heard on the call this morning, you guys made me quite nervous, if I might be honest.
I mean, look, so CPI data today, the expectations are 8.1%. Last time was 8.3%. If we get anything higher than 8.1, I think there's going to be trouble. I think there's going to be a big red wick. If we get 8.1 or lower, then I think we shoot up. But it does feel like the markets. It does feel like the market's nervous. Look, I don't know. Also taking a
so previously, that's crazy. I want to speak to that in a thing. But previously, we started to pump towards CPI. For the last two times, we've actually pumped into the news. This time, we're coming down into the news.
I think we've pumped. I think we've dumped onto all but one CPI reading. I think I saw a thing yesterday where
we always went. Remember, they faked us out. They go and they pop their head out. They've done it in the last two times where they've popped their head out with that green candle just before, and then all of a sudden they come with this one that sucks up the last 3 days. This
Are
time,
you
it's
sure?
a
Are
little
you
bit.
sure you're not thinking? Are you sure you're not getting confused between FOMC?
No. I had a look this morning.
Okay.
But either way. You saying possible wick 8.3. I want to ask you the question: wick or direction change? In my opinion, now there's a difference between a wick, because a wick's a buy. Like if it's a fast wick and it comes down and it's something that's just gonna ease up again and then continue, or is a 8.3 really bad? Because if I show you here on the stock markets, we have one more support left on stock market in this area, and after that is really ugly. Like it's really ugly. So for me, it's like a wick is a wick, and we've seen them many times, and it's always ended up being good little top up zones and these sort of things. But where we're at right now, it might
The
be
bottom
a
line
wick
is,
that can turn into something that's really, really something we can't just bounce back from now, and it's something that's just going to create more fear than what we've ever seen. I thought we've seen fear this year, but I think if stock market loses this and it loses this area over here, you know, you're looking at the US 30 coming down another 20%. You know, and then
wow. Yeah,
that's
I mean, that sounds heavy. Another 20%. It sounds heavy. I mean, the problem is that people are reading inflation, and they're saying that nothing the Fed is doing is actually working to bring down inflation, which is true. Nothing the Fed is doing is actually bringing down inflation. And the reason is because the inflation is caused by a war in Russia and Ukraine. That's what is causing the majority of the inflation. I saw something today. Let me actually see if I can quickly put it up for us. Just want to show you something. I think it's...
And it's quite crazy. I don't see the Dixie shooting through the roof right now. I suppose the stock market, everything is holding right now, but I don't see that shooting through. And it's still currently on a lower high right now.
So I don't... give me one second. I'll try and find it for us. It was a tweet by Andreas Sten Larsen. Give me one second. I'll try and find it. Just want to show you what inflation looks like in Europe, just to give you an idea, because I think it's very...
well, the world's like it's terrible. Like I was speaking to the guys this morning, and they said the Bank of England and all these things, like it's getting rough now. Like it's and it kind of feels that we're at that point where if we don't solve something very fast, like it's gonna get really bad.
This is the year-on-year increase in costs in Sweden for different things which make up inflation, right? So you look at like, okay, furniture's gone up 13%, non-food and non-alcoholic beverage 16%. And you can see like it kind of goes down 18.9% on rent, which is huge. And then look at electricity and heating, which is up 50%. And it makes it...
Is that on 40%? Oh wow, bro!
4.7% of the basket. So
that's why my electricity bill's so high. I spoke to my lady yesterday. I'm like, what the hell? We should not be spending this much.
Yeah, I mean, electricity is going up all over the world, but specifically in Europe because of what's happening here. Yeah. So to me, like the Fed is trying to slow down the economy by increasing interest rates, but increasing interest rates isn't going to solve the war in Russia and Ukraine. Isn't going to solve the gas prices going up in Russia and Ukraine. You can't stop people from using basic electricity unless you want them to become more productive, less productive. You see, so that's the problem. The problem is now that the Fed is trying to limit demand, but limiting demand isn't going to help people pay their electricity bills. You know, you can limit as much demand as you want. I need to use electricity. So that's the problem. The problem is that
so was their plan the whole time to obviously increase interest rate like as time went by, but slowly hopefully have a shift at some point, which is kind of not happening right now?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
Is their plan like, is their plan working to plan, or is it like gone completely against them?
I think that they thought that their plan would bring down inflation, and their plan didn't bring down inflation, and it's not bringing down inflation. And that's a big problem because they've raised rates more aggressively than any other time that I know. And I mean, except for the 1970s, and nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. And, you know, I tweeted yesterday and I said, you know, the Fed trying to increase rates to stop inflation is the same as trying to treat a headache taking Viagra. Like, you can take as many Viagra as you want. You're not treating the headache. That's the problem. Because you're not treating the cause. You're not treating the cause. That's the problem. Yeah. I do see that people are talking about NIA. NIA is in free fall. I wonder why. Nothing's happened on NIA. It's just sentiment.
So what's this view of yours now then? What the hell's happening to dominance? This is like, it was just random though. It's not like it was just a.
But Sheldon, I said this. I said dominance is going to 50%. And the reason why I said dominance is going to 50% is because it's a new narrative now. The new narrative is currencies are collapsing, economies are collapsing, and there's only one place to be when that happens, and that's Bitcoin. And it's not altcoins, because altcoins are venture capital, whereas Bitcoin is safe haven money. So yeah. Near, I mean, at these levels, sure, near is very, very cheap. I see Uniswap's also cheap, very, very cheap.
Dude, Solana's in the $20 again. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, today, is it another wick? And if it's another wick, I see cheap. But if it's really bad, like the stock market can have that 20% collapse, I can't think. Then I don't know how cheap it actually is, because it's
one thing. I'm gonna put together a puzzle for you. So if I look at the S&P, the NASDAQ right now, the NASDAQ's flat. So if you look at, let's quickly open that up. So see, the NASDAQ's flat. See, yes. Not much going on the NASDAQ. Now, let's quickly go here and look at Frank Chaparro. So FinTech Frank. Okay, so that's FinTech Frank. And he tweeted this yesterday. He tweeted hearing things again. Now, when he tweeted that last time, that was just before Three Arrows Capital collapsed. And he said hearing things. Now he's saying things seem stable back to. Okay, I mean, I don't know. It just feels like what's worrying me about this is that this is not a market-wide drop. This is altcoins. This is just altcoins, and it's like that's weird.
What I'm confused about. That's what I'm confused about.
Me that the dump is going down, but
because this dominance is just spiking, and it's not like everything. Like Bitcoin's coming down slightly, yes. And so is the stocks, very little, but this is just ridiculous. Like now we're really seeing a spike. But dominance is about to break 42.
Yeah, I think we will get a spike.
Looks like I
think dominance gets to 50%. I told you. In the cycle, the dominance gets to 50%, which is why Bitcoin is not necessarily a bad place to be. And I don't know, for me, as I said before, instead of Bitcoin, I'd be going into GBTC, because that's a long-term Bitcoin play. But that's a very, very, very long Bitcoin play.
Okay. Well, right now it's quite crazy where we at when it comes to Bitcoin now, because it looks like we're heading down again, and it looks like we're going 18,800 right now, and we do have our last support at 17K, bro. This is the time where we all sit here. You know, you've been speaking to me lots in office. You're like, Sheldon, these bear markets, they're rough, bro. You got to survive. You got to go through these things. But this can get really rough, bro. This can get like really rough.
I want to show you something that I read today. Just give me 1 second. It's going to call up on my screen. Here we go. So this is something I read today. So this is from Crypto Dog. He says, think about how bad it is. It's even worse than that. We haven't seen real pain. It hasn't even started. You think you thought about it. Nope, even worse than that. Imagine the worst case scenario, worse than that. Reread this tweet. Think about it again. Still worse. So that's what he's saying. I said something different. I tweeted this morning and I said, this reminds me of the 2019-2020 bear market. And it feels like the 2019-2020 bear market felt like today for a year.
No way.
For a year. Imagine this every single day for a year. And you know what the worst part is? The worst part is that we never knew if crypto was going to come out the other side. We never knew. We just did not know if crypto was going to come out the other side. We just had no idea.
And now, the feeling that we're getting that now again, like Bitcoin's going to go back to this, like it's not going to do what it was supposed to be different to the stock. It's supposed to run differently. It was supposed to this. It's supposed to that. Like, even though we're saying dominance is going up, like Bitcoin's not going up. So like, I get what you're saying where money is going into Bitcoin, but where is it going? Because the price is only just coming down.
I think it's holding strong compared to world markets. Like, I mean, like you take a Bitcoin chart. If you take the Bitcoin chart and the NASDAQ chart, NASDAQ's been going down, but Bitcoin's been going up, right?
No. I agree very much. So for your understanding, if CPI comes out anywhere below 8.1 today, it's a buy. It's a temporary buy the dip. Like, because right now altcoins, we look at the prices that they're at, it's ridiculous. Solana's $28.
Feels like
we got Rune at 1.4. Like, it feels that. So if we have a decent CPI today, a nice little add to portfolio's dollar cost. I need to know personally because I got some dollars, but I'm also like, I actually felt a little bit sick. I deployed a little bit about half an hour ago, and I feel sick. I'm like,
Does it feel like uncomfortable? If it feels
feels very
uncomfortable,
uncomfortable.
it's probably right. Then if it feels uncomfortable, my experience says it's probably right. So
Yes,
right
yes,
now it
yes.
feels super uncomfortable.
What's Rand doing with his portfolio right now?
I think I'm gonna buy some more near because it's a good time to dollar cost average, and also because I believe in the tech. You know, my view is if you're holding stuff that you're like, I don't mind holding near for the next 5 years because I just know the tech works and it's amazing. So for me, I'm buying near. I'm buying a little bit of Uniswap. Today's a good day to dollar cost average of all the ones.
I agree. I agree. Actually, dollar costing at this area and save for another 30% down in case.
But I wouldn't be deploying a lot of my money. I'd be chilled because you don't know how long this is going to last. This could last for another year. This could last for 12 more months. So be careful.
Yeah, but let's be honest with it though. It's not a year of like continuous down. It's just like a year of like it just doesn't go anywhere. Like it just like it basically Bitcoin stays 17, goes to 20, stays.
Feels like to me like we're due a bounce. We haven't had a bounce for a long time. Like I don't know. We just printed the lower low on the NASDAQ. You can see it here.
Bro, and I was still confident with that until that dominance. I just don't know what's like you said. I hear something like that tweet that you said now. Like we gotta. I'm sure we're gonna find out something. I don't know.
People's emotions. Like you look at the NASDAQ. So you got a low here. You got a lower low here. You got a lower low here. So, I don't know. To me, it feels like it could get a little bit of a bounce, maybe around to about the 11.4, 11.395, and then continue. If we're going to continue going down, then continue going down.
Okay.
Yeah, but
amazing,
I mean,
brother. So your show's after, so we'll know. So
your my show's after CPI. So my show's after CPI.
So we'll know because it's basically 2 hours away, and it's quite crazy, dude. The market's dumping into it, like hard. We haven't had this much of a dump into it, especially on the altcoins.
Someone says, "Yeah, had Rand funded my account. Had Rand funded my account, I would have just lost it all." Well, we haven't started the trading competition yet. It only starts on Monday. So
we were speaking about it. We're like, guys, the market will be better by then. We want the market to at least be like in a better range. At least it's doing something now.
Let's quickly just see how many people are entered in the trading competition. Remember, I'm gonna be funding accounts on my show today. So hold on a second. Let's just quickly go here.
Yeah, we start on Monday, guys.
Remember. Okay, hold on a second. Let's quickly look here. Let's just see what's going on here. So on the BitGet doesn't show you, but on the ByBit, I think there's like 650 people. More. 659. All right, so sign up today. Get a account, ByBit and BitGet.
And wait. Yeah.
And wait for Monday. Don't do anything until Monday. Do not do anything until Monday. Monday is when the competition starts.
There's a really cool education series also dropping before that. So just sign up, wait, and then we play the run. And we got to keep busy. Like this is quite crazy. Thank you, brother.
Cool.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you, bro. Ciao. Amazing. Okay, cool. Let's jump on here quick and let's go have a look. So as I said, guys, we do have obviously a very important support right now. I was actually teaching. I was doing school this morning, and I was going through support and resistance again. And it still came down to the sickening of support buys is where you buy, and support resistance, these sort of things. And I'll show you it here quickly. If Bitcoin does drop here, you're looking at something like this, and you're looking at something like this. So whenever we do reach areas of support, will always be your standard version of when you're either adding portfolios or when you're technically always looking to buy. And this is very on a higher time frame sort of view, right? Now, reason being is if we lose areas, we test as resistance, you exit, we're going to the next big one. So right now we're sitting with a very big gap. And the big gap is basically sitting between 17K and sitting between 17K and 13K to 1100. Sorry, I'm busy watching this price over here, which is quite crazy. So for me, it is the part of sickness. It is the part where everything feels so sick right now, even if you had to add or anything like that. Looking at this again, extreme fear. Let's actually see where we are right now on this. Still on the 20. So extremely fearful, extremely scared right now. And what I'm basically doing is it reminded me again this morning that support buys were always my level of having control. And what I mean by having control is buying extreme fear right now and also having a strategy that if we lose that area, I know the very big area we're going to next. So it means if we lose the lows that we made, I got to make a very big decision on this retest here so that I can build up a lot more of the portfolio in this area. Right now, the way I paint this picture is I still think at some point we will get a relief. I just feel the big guys, if if this dominance is going to go up the way it is and everything's going to go up and the world's going to a mess right now, I do feel that Bitcoin will be a bigger solution of it. And I feel that people are going to go into it. Maybe this is just not cheap enough. And we'll soon see. I think it's damn cheap. Everyone else thinks it's very cheap. They may not think it's very cheap. And we will then see that through this area over here. So if we lose this, I'm making a very big decision here because there's a big gap. There's a very big gap. And I need to capitalize and make sure that I am able to take advantage if we do get 11 to 13. Guys, think about yourself a year ago. Would you have thought Bitcoin, there's a possibility of going to 10K? It's absolutely crazy right now. With where we're at. And what's even more mad right now is what these altcoins are doing. And it kind of looks like, if you look at the Bitcoin charts of where we're at, Bitcoin's already come down to nearly test those lows. And the altcoins are still higher. Like you look at ETH. Some of the other ones are not, but you look at ETH. It looks like ETH is catching up now. And, think to yourself again, the merge went correct. Higher time frame, longer term frame for you. It's good for ETH. And I think for the projection of where it can get in the future, I think it's really, really, really good. You just got to think to yourself now, if you could get ETH at $800, like, is that a panic version of you? Or is it like, holy shit, like that's a good price. That's an extremely good price. Now, if I had to mark these resistances, the previous way that I just did it with Bitcoin now, and you just want to see what's the realistic views of where we can get if the shit does go south. And it basically does come down to this area over here, which is this area, which we tested, but not properly. And that is looking at an $800 ETH if things really go bad right now. And it looks like even if Bitcoin just goes to 17K, it looks like the altcoins are going to fall. They're going to fall hard. It looks like right now, for me, it's Christmas buying. Like, we need to chat up this. I'm going to have to cancel my next recording that I'm going to do. And I need to see what the hell Bitcoin, I can get ready.
Check the 1 hour. Dumping hard.
Just before CPI. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Before CPI. Usually it's coming straight after. Before. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is where we sit here and be like, holy shit. Like, is this a steal? Because if it goes right, like the stock markets aren't doing this. What's the stock markets doing right now? Nothing. Like, the stock market's literally, yeah, I agree. Tonight I'm eating bread and water, but that's fine because I'm going to be seeing what else I can get. But it does look like the altcoins now. Let's go back to ETH here quick. So it does look that the possibility of this, that ETH can go to $800. You need to look at that as any way that oh, they leaked. What is the CPI?
No, they're just trolling us, bro.
Just trolling us in the comments. You guys, don't do that. Don't do that to us. We've been through enough. Okay, amazing. So you could sort of see the range of where we're at right now and where far we can go down. Now, let's go look at the rest. Look at XRP. Still way above. Bitcoin's here. So it looks like right now the altcoins are catching up through those areas. This does look like incredibly strong support from anywhere in the low 30s of XRP. It looks like it's one of the days where the whole market is just tanking and everything that was respected is not respected anymore. Doesn't matter what your tech is, doesn't matter what that is, everything is ripping. And we just got to look at realistic views of where this can actually get. So you can be looking at a 30 cents XRP. Let's go look at Matic. So you see this, guys. So we shouldn't actually be crazy surprised the dominance is going up now. It looks like the altcoins are just catching up, which isn't good. Like, it just feels like shit's still getting pretty bad. But for me, I've been waiting for my major alts and more altcoins that I can load up here. And now for the first time, if these come back, like, you're looking at a 40 cents Matic. If it comes back and it catches up to these areas, like that for me is crazy on where we're at right now. We look at Solana. Solana is literally dropping the lows. Where's the next test on Solana here? $22. $22 on Solana. This was a $260 token. Still a really good, same project, same team, same everything. The same thing, guys. Everyone buying here. You got the same product that's here now. You can look at this either as one of the most terrible days or the one of the biggest opportunities. Like, dollar costing for me does make sense, but do be aware there is another 20-30% downwards. But if you look at this, it's the same damn product, same product of what it was previously. We look at Algo, about to lose this area. So support and resistance is going to help you guys a lot with the levels of where we're going to get to. So right now, this is the low. So you want to track. Remember, support, resistance. Where's my previous floor? The next one is you basically, let me show you guys quickly. and I'll see if I can show you on any other tokens of how you can actually track this dump and basically give yourself a roadmap for it if it does continue. So the way it works is your previous support, your previous low is your support. Area where you've had interest before, where people have been buying, right? Now, if we lose that one, all you're going to do is take this horizontal ray and you're going to go mark up the next ones. And you can paint yourself a sort of picture. So I got 4 there that you can see. And basically what's going to happen is every time you lose support, it's going to lose a level and break the next. And it basically turns your support into resistance, an area where people are going to sell after. So for example, if we drop this over here, we're going to come down to the next one, possible bounce, break the next one, possible bounce, and you're basically going to see this ladder effect, okay? Until you see the different shift. So what it does do, though, is you're only going to see the true reversal once we've changed the pattern, right? We've basically changed it to something like this. But what it is going to do, firstly, it's going to give you have to believe that these are the targets we can get to on this push. For me, these are areas of either dollar costing or these sort of zones as we get there. And it's the same thing that if we lose, I'll go here and on any token, and we come up here, this can be an exit point for you. It can, like if you got cash too much, you bought the dip or you bought this and you can't lose this, that is an exit for you. And you're looking to buy it here. You buy it here, that's an exit for you. And you continue this momentum until all of a sudden that this basically, let's say this comes down, you sell over here, this comes down, you buy, you sell, same thing. And all of a sudden this explodes. What it's going to do once it explodes, it's going to come test. So whatever you got out, you buy it straight back on a pullback on red support, and then you can basically continue every time. So let me show you here. So if this all of a sudden reverses and starts to hit these momentum shifts up here, this is where you're going to take this marker and you're going to go highlight where are all my previous highs, where can I go from here, where do I take profits, these sort of things. So what I'm basically coming down to is if we lose these levels, when we come back and test these levels again, especially if Bitcoin loses that low and ETH loses all these lows and stuff, it is an exit point to buy back. And don't be afraid to exit on these levels on money that you need, because when it breaks it, and let's say it pops out again, it will come back, test, you buy it back on a pullback, and then you continue the ride. So never be afraid. Use support and resistance throughout these times because it's extremely important. Like if you look here at Rune, why do you think it's starting to move very quickly now? It's just lost support. Okay, where's the next one? Here. So we had 1.385 now. We can be looking at this going down to 80 cents. 80 cents, which is crazy. So for me, if this comes down here now, tests this, it's a slight exit for there, and let's say a load up there. Ultimately, if you're a dollar cost or you're an investor, buying at 80 cents is crazy. Like it's crazy where you're getting it at, dollar costing in those zones. But if you do sell out on any of these points, worst scenario, it breaks out, it tests, you buy straight back of where you got back in and you continue. At least you're buying at the right area. So support and resistance is just gonna look at Binance BNB token. There's the low that we're gonna lose right now. It looks like we're gonna lose it. There's the next one. So the purpose of this is to not give you a heart attack on where these, you got to accept it, that these are the levels we can go after this. Today is just a meltdown. I don't know what's happening with dominance. I don't know why it's shooting up like this and why the altcoins are getting crushed so much. We just got to work together with a strategy and work as a team. So you got to be realistic on where these levels can go. And after CPI, if it's a good reading and all of a sudden we start to get a long sort of wick or something like that, hopefully we can break that trend. And then we're going to be using the other strategy, which is the resistance into support. Boom, 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 boom. And what we're doing, we'll make sure that we take profits every time we go to resistance and we buy back on supports. And we'll continue that method. So let's continue this. Let's see what happens on CPI. From that, we'll make the next decision. Right now, it's looking terrible as shit. It doesn't look good at all. And we'll basically continue. Guys, remember the trading competition. Remember my channel. Please go support, so go show love on the channel. And remember, if you want to open any of your trading accounts, to use our links below. Use our BBS. Use all of that there. But until then, I love you lots. I'll see you all just now. Let's see CPI, and let's go from there. Let's do this, Banter fam. Another day in war. We will win. Much love.